Welcome back to another episode. We have a Reddit read for you today, and what we're looking to do is we're looking at helping these young guys out or other fathers that have some advice that's making these posts so they can kind of get a hold on their situation. But before we go ahead and jump into this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and throw in a comment or two. I'm looking for all ideas and opinions to help these guys out. Now let's go ahead and get into this read. Alright, so it's titled Question for Guys Who Are Young Fathers. This is mostly directed towards guys who became fathers at 19-21 range, but I'm happy to hear from anyone. I'm 19, soon to be 20, going to be a dad shortly. I'm currently in college, sophomore year, and I have a job that pays well, but with school it interferes with my hours, so my paychecks are perfect for a single college kid, but not nearly enough for someone who's going to be raising a kid. I am obligated to finish this semester, anyway, so dropping out at this moment before Christmas isn't an option. The way I look at it is I have three options. Running away isn't one of them. I can join the military, drop out of school, and go to trade, or tough my way through the next 2 years while also balancing school, a job or two, and raising a kid. Looking for advice from anyone who took any of these three paths, or if there's another path, just any sort of advice is much appreciated. Thank you. Wow. How can I say this? This is really interesting because this guy right here is a young father, and I started out as a young father. I started out as a father at 21, so I understand the situation that he's in. It's really tough, and he has to really figure this out because regardless of what path he takes, there are going to be hiccups in a road that's either going to delay or prevent him. Now, in one of my other shows, I talked about delayed dreams or deferred dreams, and basically what that is when you have a kid, it doesn't mean that you can't complete your dream or you can't achieve it. It just means that it may take you a little bit longer to get there depending on the situation that you're in. Now, you could be in a position where you have a great support system, but it doesn't allow you to go to school. Or you can have a great support system and it allows you to do all the things and everything that you want to do. And that is a possibility as well. But it's not like that for everybody. And that's something that we want to always keep in mind, is that everybody's situation is different. I had a great support system when I was raising my son and I took custody of him. And I am truly, truly appreciative for everything that they did and taught my son along the way. While I wasn't in the household, while I was out there working 2 jobs, while I was out there going to school and trying to have a better future for us, and not always just looking at our current situation and where we at. I was looking at where we could be in the next few years versus where we are right now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and break this article down. So he starts out, he said, he is 20 and he's going to be 20 and he's going to be a dad shortly. He's in college in his sophomore year. So he's only in his second year. Okay. So that means, and this is before Christmas. So he doesn't have much time before he go ahead and graduates. He has a lot of time. Well, he doesn't have much time before the end of the semester is what I meant. And then he has to go and do the next semester just to complete his sophomore year. Okay, so he have a job but it pays well, but his school interferes with his job, so his paychecks aren't great. Okay, that's obvious right there. So let's go a little further. Okay, now he's gonna be raising a kid. So I do have a few questions. So at this point, I do have a few questions. So one is, who is the girl that he got pregnant? Is she in school? Does she plan on working? Is she not planning on working? What is their situation? Are they together? Okay, this is a girl that he's dating. Like, what's the situation there? Like, is there gonna be any additional help? He's away at college, so is he out of state for college? Is he in state for college? What does his parents think about this? Is his parents still around? Is his parents alive? grandparents? What about her parents? Like, and I'm gonna get more into why I'm asking these questions. But there's a few more questions that I would like to be answered to be able to sit here and say that he could do X, Y, Z, but I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. So I can only go about this with what I already have. So now we know that he's in his sophomore year. He does have a job, but it doesn't pay well. So it's probably just like a little part-time gig, enough to just get him maybe some drinks, get him some snacks, food, whatever the case is, put a little gas in his car. It's not much. So let's go on a little further. So he's saying that the way he look at it, he has 3 options. Runaway isn't one of them. I'm glad he said that. Definitely don't run away from the situation, because sometimes it can only get worse for you if you decide to run away instead of confront it. It's kind of like one of those situations where you get into a fender bender with somebody, or you get into an accident with somebody and you decide to run. What you've done the first time was not a crime, which is getting into an accident. Running away now turns into a felony. So because you ran, now you have a felony charge. If you're caught and apprehended, now you have to deal with a felony case on top of the accident that you went through. So now you got 2 issues that you got to worry about. So that's something that you should always tell somebody, especially teenagers that's getting in cars, that hey, if you get into an accident, please don't leave the scene of the crime, because if you do, it may turn into a felony and you can get into serious trouble with that, and that's something that you do not want on your record. But let's go ahead and get back into this post. So he doesn't want to run away. That's good. I'm glad you want to stick around and kind of just deal with the situation and not run away, because when you run away, it creates more problems than anything, as I just stated. Now, you said you can join the military. I'm not opposed to you joining the military. The military has a lot of benefits. Now, the question is what branch of the military are you trying to go to? Are you trying to go to Army, Navy, Air Force, National Guard? You name it. Which one are you trying to go to? Because I would say Navy, Air Force, and maybe National Guard probably be your safer bet. I wouldn't really go into the Army. I believe that they're like the front line. They're the ones that go in first. So I don't think you want to go there. Then, are you thinking about going reserve? So, take a lot of that stuff into account first before choosing to go to the military. What branch you want to go into, which one is be beneficial. Now, in these situations, what I would say is it pays to do a lot of research. So you may want to go in there, you want to talk to the Army. You want to go in there and talk to the Navy. You want to go in and talk to the Air Force. You want to go and talk to the National Guard. I'm probably forgetting one. But you want to go in and you want to talk to them, because the questions you may have, you definitely want to talk about your situation to them and see if it's a great benefit, because probably the best perk that you will probably get out of it is being married to the young lady, so the family can get the perks as well. But if you're not looking to go down that route, I don't know how much the military would be an asset for you. Now, I've known people that have went into the military, and in order for the girlfriend to actually get the benefits of the boyfriend being in the military, is they had to be married. Now, this was years ago when I found out this information. I knew a young lady. She had a baby by this guy. He figured that he'll go into the military, and he went in as a reserve so he could have benefits for his family. The problem is that in order for him to have benefits for his family, they had to get married. So they went ahead, got married, just so they could have the benefits for their relationship. Now, I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. You have to do what's best for your situation. If you're looking to marry this young lady, and you want to go to the military, that may be one of the stipulations that you'll have to do in order for them to get any kind of benefits from your service of being in there. Now, that is a huge step, okay? With marrying this person, I don't know if you're looking at being this person for the long term. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. You don't state it in the post whether or not this is somebody that you want to be with, but I mean, it's something to consider. if you talking about going into the military, but this is something that you want to do a lot of in-depth research on. You really want to go into those branches and talk to them before you decide that this is something that you really want to do, or this is something that you want to consider, because it's a huge step to commit to the military, because you're committing so many years of your life to this branch of government. Not only that, you don't know if you're going to be deployed depending on what branch you're in, and you also got to get through basic training. So if you're fit enough to get through basic training and get through the whole situation and scenario, the 6-8 weeks of training, then hey, by all means go ahead and do it. But I would really advise you to take a lot of consideration before you go into the military, because there may be some more stipulations that you're not aware of after you find out after you sign the dotted line. So be very, very careful about making that particular decision. Okay, so he goes on and he say he can drop out of school and go to trade school. Okay, so you drop out of school. Now, I don't know if you're on scholarship. I don't know if you're on financial aid or paying by cash. I don't know what your financial situation, I don't know what your family situation is. So trade school is not bad. Whether you go into electrical, you're going to be a carpenter, you go into HVAC, you go into plumbing, any of those, okay? So none of that is a issue, because you could build a fantastic business on that. You can do a lot. You can become a journeyman. You can do a lot of great work. My concern there is you're going to drop out of one program to go into another program. So you still have, and I'm not sure where you're from and how it's all set up, but if you go look at one of the other videos, the trade school process, the one that my son has gone to trade school. So, and that process still takes FAFSA. So unless you're looking to pay that in cash, dropping out in the middle of the year, then do the FAFSA to go, you may not be able to, you maybe or maybe not be able to transfer that FAFSA over to the next school, or take some of that Pell Grant or whatever you receive and apply it to the next school. I haven't been able to do something like that, or been in a situation that had to do that before. So, if you're dropping out in the middle of the year, then turn around to go to trade school, they may say you have to wait until a later semester, because you probably apply for FAFSA for both semesters. So that's the fall, the winter, and then the spring, semester. So if it's right before Christmas, then you're more likely probably going into the winter semester. So to drop out of training, you may want to do some research on that. So you may want to go to the trade school, have some conversations with them about that, and then also talk to your counselor at the university and have some conversation about that, and actually make a key decision on whether or not that's going to be the best decision. Because dropping out in the middle of the semester, it could get all your stuff paid for, and then you can go ahead with your last 2 semesters paid for, and then transfer over. And then before you drop out, I'm also kind of curious of what is your major in school. Because if the major is worth sticking it out for 2 more years, like if you're like going into accounting, or you're going into like maybe bioengineering or engineering or something like that, something where or computer information, something where like when you come out of school, the minimum you could make is about $60,000 is what I'm thinking. So if you're looking at dropping out of school to go to trade school, I think that is something to consider, because look at the job growth of your position, and then look at the job growth of whatever trade school program that you want to get yourself into. Do you want to go and be a nurse or something like that? It's really something to consider, because making that transfer in the middle of the semester, it could get a little iffy when it comes to FAFSA. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that sometimes trying to change it from one school to another school, sometimes it can get a little complicated. But you want to definitely have that conversation with your counselor first and foremost, and then you definitely want to have a conversation with whatever trade school you want to go to. And from having those conversations, you'll get a clear picture on the best route to take. I have no issue with trade school. I believe that you could be phenomenal and great in trade school, but also look at where you are, the state that you're in. How much does a tradesman make coming out of trade school? What is a trade school retention rate? What is a trade school graduation rate? What is their job placement rate? So these are some things that you want to actually look at when you're talking about applying to a trade school, because you want to make sure that whatever trade school that you're going to is actually going to be beneficial to your growth and the benefit of your family going forward. Because if you go there and you come out of there in, let's say, 10 months to a year, and you're not placed in a job, you're not making you're not making close to what you thought you were gonna make, and you're thinking that you're gonna come out and make $55,000-$60,000 working full time, and you're only making $45,000-$50,000 working full time. Look at what the economy is now. Is that going to be beneficial and enough for you to raise a child on? And we still don't know the situation with the girl that you got pregnant. Is she going to work? Is she going to be a stay-at-home mom? Is her family going to help? Is your family going to help? There is no mention of parents or anybody that's going to assist. It seems like this is just all on you. And you really want to have to consider whether or not you have a great support system and how much weight is going to fall on you, especially since you're 20 years old, then you're going to be 21, and so forth and so forth. So looking at now, I think you want to look at now, but I think you want to more so, because you have a kid, come and plan more for the future than for just right now. So if the harder road now is going through those 2 years to get to the better paying job, or dropping out, going to trade school to get to the better paying job, then those are some decisions that you want to make. But you got to make those for the future. You got to say, okay, if I drop out, go to trade school now, what does that look like for me 5 years down the line? If I get these 2 years out now, what does that look like 5 years down the line? Because one decision may be better than the other. Because you can go to university, graduate, and not go into your field for 2, 3, 4 to 5 years, maybe 10 years sometimes. Or you can go into trade school, go right into your field if they have job placement, and from job placement, you can go ahead and see what will be the benefit. You can see the benefit of going there and how much you're going to start out. And don't be afraid to ask them when you're in that room with them. You're talking to the counselors or the advisors at the trade school and say, look, what is the average amount that I'm looking to make once I graduate from here? How many companies do you deal with when you're looking at placing people? Like, these are questions that should be asked when you're going into that trade school and you're talking to them advisors, because this is your future. This is not their future. They're an advisor. They're doing what either they want to do or they have to do to make their ends meet. But for you, you're trying to build the roadblocks and actually cultivate the talent that you have and trying to turn it into something so you can be able to provide for your family. And I'm hoping this is a situation where y'all actually going to work it out and y'all are going to make something of yourselves. Whether y'all get married or just stay in a relationship, or how the case is, or just be hopefully not baby daddy, baby mama situation, or how the case is. But let's keep moving. So we're tough the next 2 years out while balancing school, a job or two, while raising a kid. So tough in the job or two. So it sounds like, by I'm saying that, it sounds like that she's not going to be working. She's more so, I guess, going to just, I don't know. I don't know what she's going to be doing, because there's no mention of her and what she's going to be doing. There's no mention of a support system. There's no mention of anything. So the best advice I can give you is do your research. Go and talk to the people at the military branch. That's the first thing, if that's something that you want to do. See what reserve is going to look like. You can still be here at work, but you can also go and do the reserve. I think they're doing, the The last time that I checked it out, they were doing like 2 weeks out of the year where you would go train, practice, and then you would come back. That can offer benefits too. But the downside to that is that you may have to be married in order to get those benefits. Then we're looking at trade school. So you want to talk to your consular office and you want to talk to their consular office and see how that's going to work if you drop out in the middle of the year. That may not be the best option, but do your research and see what they say. As for the school that you're at now, depending on what your major is, if it's one of those majors where you could come out of college making $110,000 because it's computer engineering or it's cyber security or however the case is, or engineering, whatever those high paying degrees are, where you can work from home, then it may be something to consider toughing those next 2 years out, just so you can just make it through, get placed, and then you can start working from the ground up. And that may be a better situation, but I know it's going to be harder because you're going to have to actually work more to get it than anything. So those are my suggestions. Those are the best advice I can give you, because it boils down to a lot of research. I don't know where you live at. I don't know what your family status is. I don't know what her family status is, what her situation is. So I'm only going based on the information that I have. So that's the best information that I can give you. Do your research. Find out what the military is all about. Find out about the trade school, what trade school you want to go to. Do some really in-depth research. And then after that, make a determination whether or not your degree that you're going to get is be more beneficial than all of those together. But you just gotta you just gotta go hard in the paint and just try to figure out if it's actually worth it. Okay, I'm MG. I'll catch you on the next go around. Peace.